Something is going on in Las Vegas, and it is shaking up the locker room in a way we did not expect to see right now. The defensive changes its face, the offense is finding new pieces in the crossfire of training camp, and there are front office decisions that simply cannot be ignored. Are we about to see a revolution on the field, or is the coaching staff betting way too high on pieces that still need to prove a lot? So go ahead and drop a like and stay until the end, because what is going on behind the scenes could completely change the destination of our season. The exit of Devin White caught a lot of people by surprise out the back door. The guy came in with swagger, put on the jersey, fought in every single one of the 17 starts last season, and delivered 174 tackles, the third highest number in the entire NFL. But what looked like an untouchable piece ended up turning the page really fast, according to reports from inside the franchise. The linebacker accepted a one-year contract with the Detroit Lions, looking for a fresh start after leaving his mark in Las Vegas. And the big question left in the back of every fan's head is whether the front office did the right thing by letting go of such an experienced name, or if this is a mistake that could cost us dearly down the road. After all, White definitely had his bright moments, but the cold numbers show he racked up 26 missed tackles and allowed a passer rating of 92.5 when targeted in coverage. Did John Spytek and the coaching staff evaluate the risks well? Or did they let a leader slip away who still had plenty of gas left in the tank? While the fan base debates this exit, the truth is the coffers and the planning changed direction drastically. The Raiders decided to invest heavy in renewing the unit, opening the vault with 3-year contracts to bring in Nakobe and Quay Walker. We are talking about a robust investment with $13 million in base salaries injected just in 2026 to restructure the heart of the defense. And the reactions behind the scenes show a giant optimism with this duo, to the point where Max Crosby confessed he had never played with a linebacker of Walker's physical build, highlighting the imposing presence of a 6'4", 248-pound athlete who knows how to move like few others on the field. Ben Solak, from the major specialized media, already places this Raiders move among the best positional upgrades of the entire offseason. Linebackers coach Ronell Williams also did not hide his excitement, pointing out that Quay has plenty of room to grow, while describing Nakobe as an extremely violent player on tape, but who makes up for it with a surgical and highly cerebral read of the game. Hold on, because what comes next changes everything in the offensive scheme. Hold on, because what comes next changes everything in Klint Kubiak's offensive planning for the season. There are strong speculations that the offense could gain a totally different dynamic with the rise of rookie Mike Washington Jr., drafted in the 4th round out of Arkansas. According to info coming straight from training camp, the running back has been splitting valuable snaps with both the first and second team, showing the coaching staff is not playing around when it comes to implementing a 2-back system. Is this tactical genius, or an unnecessary exposure of a rookie who is still figuring out the pace of the league? Of course, Ashton Jeanty remains the absolute owner of the top spot, especially after carrying the piano last year with almost 1,000 rushing yards and 13 total touchdowns, even fighting behind one of the worst offensive lines in all of football. However, Kubiak made clear from day one that he needs a 1-2 punch in the backfield to keep the tempo going without wearing out the main star. And that is where Washington comes in, fitting right into the wide zone style the coordinator loves to run so much. Comparisons to the legendary Darren McFadden are already starting to pop up in the team hallways, whether for height, size, or explosion in the 40-yard dash. If this really happens and he keeps up this pace, the Raiders get an enviable depth to spare Jeanty from the physical beating the position demands, making sure the offense does not lose intensity if the starter needs a breather. And the doubt lingers in the head of everyone following every single detail. Trusting a rookie this much to take over that rotational role is a necessary vote of confidence, or an unmeasured risk in an offense that desperately needs to get rolling right by week 1. And if you think the pressure is high on offense, wait until you see what is happening on the other side of the ball. The defense is trying to adopt a new identity under Rob Leonard, but training camp has revealed cracks and doubts that keep scaring the fan base. Leonard surprised everyone by declaring publicly that he is trying to shape a player-led defense, dropping the excessive sideline control to give total autonomy for real-time decisions. Is this an absurd proof of trust, or a leap into the dark with a group that still needs to prove its worth at the highest level of the NFL? The most emblematic case of this new style is Nakobe himself, who already arrived yelling in practice and calling out the responsibility for himself, showing he wants to be the true general on the field. On one hand, counting on the chemistry of players who already played together at the University of Georgia speeds up the gel process and creates genuine familiarity that cornerback Eric Stokes makes a point of praising. On the other hand, putting all your chips on a defense that urgently needs to stop opponents and generate turnovers can turn into a double-edged sword if the players' reads fail in clutch moments. Stokes was totally honest in pointing out that the bottom line is simple: take the ball away more and give more scoring opportunities to the offense, something that was sorely lacking in the recent past. Until this unit proves in an official game format that they can make the right calls without hesitating, this autonomous defense label is nothing more than a big hope behind the scenes. Now I want to hear from you, fan who lives and breathes every second of this franchise and accepts nothing less than the greatness our history demands. Put your hand on your heart and tell me what you are really thinking about all this shaping up behind the scenes in Las Vegas for this season knocking on the door. Because just look at the situation we find ourselves in at this exact moment of training camp. On one hand, the front office made drastic decisions, messed with the deepest structures of the roster, let go of experienced pieces like Devin White, and put a whole journey of expectations on the shoulders of young talents who still need to prove a lot wearing the silver and black. Is this intense overhaul in the heart of the defense with Nakobe Dean and Quay Walker going to give us the solidity we have begged for over the last few years? Or are we trading the sure thing for a question mark and letting veteran leadership slip away that knew the ropes? It is a question that won't go away, especially when we analyze the heavy investment that was made and the absurd pressure riding on each one of them on the field. And what about this boldness from Klint Kubiak running the offense, testing rookie Mike Washington Jr. side by side with the starters to try to create a dynamic two running back system that takes the excessive physical wear off Ashton Jeanty's back? Is it a genius move that could revolutionize our ground game and bring unpredictability to the playbook? Or is it an unmeasured risk to trust a fourth-round rookie so much to carry the piano alongside our main offensive star when the pressure of the real championship tightens up? To make the scenario worse or better, depending on everyone's strategic point of view, the defense now gets this new autonomous identity under Rob Leonard, where the players have total freedom to read the game, bark out orders, and make crucial real-time decisions without depending on a rigid call coming from the sideline. It is a spectacular vote of confidence that can speed up this group's growth and turn our defensive unit into an aggressive and feared force across the league, or it could turn into a true tactical nightmare if lack of experience takes its toll in the most critical moments of tight games. The truth nobody wants to admit out loud is that the margin of error for our coaching staff and these players simply does not exist anymore because Raider Nation is tired of false hopes, endless rebuilds, and empty promises that melt away by the first half of the schedule. We want wins, we want consistency, we want a defense that creates turnovers and puts our offense in favorable spots to crush opponents, not just pretty training camp speeches that vanish as soon as the opening whistle blows for 12 weeks of pure adrenaline and suffering. That is why the time to debate is right now, before the ball really flies and we find out if the cliff is right ahead or if the top of the standings finally belongs to us by right. Drop your opinion right down here in the comments. Like the video to show our fan base is the most engaged and feared in all of football. Share it with that fellow fan who needs to open their eyes to what is going on behind the scenes. And stay tuned, because our voice is the force that pushes the Raiders toward eternal glory.